Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Friday Junior, Friday Eve. It's Thursday. I'm excited. Let me tell you why. I was at work yesterday and I got so mixed up. So many things were happening yesterday that I thought it was just Tuesday. And I was like, wow, it's been like a long week. It feels like a whole half of the week went by and it's only Tuesday. I was excited when I found out it was Wednesday. So I'm really excited that today is Thursday because this week really did not take a long time to get through. It's been a very busy week. It's been very busy at the office, so many things happening. And it's a blessing. So I'm really, 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 really excited that the week is going by. Accomplishments are being made. We're not standing still. We're walking out on faith. I'm excited today. I just, when you feel that God is doing something on your behalf, when He's moving in your favor, even though you don't see it, but you feel it, you can smell it, you can taste it. It's something that you know something is going to happen, but in your favor. Not that doom and gloom feeling, but that anticipation, that expectation. That's what I'm feeling in different areas of my life because there's so many things that I'm praying for, hoping for, walking out on faith for. And so I know God is going to show up. So I'm here to encourage somebody today that whatever you're going through, the storms, the tears, the sadness, don't worry because your joy is coming. The blessing is coming. The breakthrough is coming. What you've been praying for, crying for, wishing for, it's coming. You're going to get it. God is going to open up that door. Nobody's going to be able to close it. And it's going to be so much more than what you were asking for, thinking about, imagining. It's going to be huge. I'm telling you that's the season that we're in. 2018 is not over. Please stop giving up on 2018 because you haven't seen what you thought you were going to see. It's coming. Just hold on. Have faith. Trust God and keep walking. Keep doing the things that you've been doing, the things that God has told you to do. Keep walking in that so that way He can meet you where you're supposed to meet Him. Okay? Ooh, that was good. Today was on my heart. And I talk to you guys because there's things on my mind and in my heart that I need to get out. And I love you because you give me an opportunity to talk to you all. Good morning, everybody. You give me an opportunity to talk to you all about what's on my mind and what's in my heart so that way I can get it out and move forward with my life. Help me make wise decisions. You think that this is for you, but in all honesty, it's for me. This morning, what was on my mind and in my heart was not to be an Israelite in your life. And what I mean by that is, in the Bible, there was a Moses, right? And Moses was supposed to take the people to the promised land. Unfortunately, Moses was not allowed to take the people to the promised land, though he saw it. So he had an understudy, let's just say, someone under him, who was going to take the Israelites into the promised land. His name was Joshua. And Joshua was prepped and ready. He was actually one of the 10 that went out to scope the land. He and Caleb were 2 of the 10 to go scope out the land to see what was there, who was there, just to get an idea. Well, the spies came back, or the people who spied out the land, came back to report on what the promised land looked like. And Joshua and Caleb were like, oh, it's awesome, it's great, it's wonderful. Let's go take the land that God promised us. But the other 8 were like, no. They're big giants there. They're people we can't beat. They're demons, demonic forces. We just can't win this. We're going to lose the battle. Good morning, Lottie. We're going to lose the battle. We're not going to win. This is not for us. I don't know what God was promising, but it couldn't have been that because, no, it's a no for us. So the people decided to listen to the 8 instead of listening to the 2. We have to be very careful of who we have in our ear gates. I know you've heard me say that many times, and I will continue to say, be careful of who you have in your ear gates because those people will keep you from gaining what God has for you. God asks us to do some of the craziest things sometimes. It's called stepping out on faith. It's called not listening to your circumstances, but remembering the promise. And God will ask you to do things that you're just like, okay, who would do this? Who would leave their job of 20 years, about to retire in 5, and start a business? Who would go back to school at the age of 60? Who would get out of a marriage, an abusive marriage, and go on? I have no job, no income, no savings, and I have kids to support. Who would do these things? Well, God asks you to do some crazy things sometimes, no matter what your circumstance looks like. And this is what he was asking the Israelites to do. He said, for many years, I promised to get you out of Egypt, out of enslavement, out of slavery, and I was going to give you a place that was yours, where you could be free, where there's a land of milk and honey. You won't have to depend on me to provide manna every morning for you. You won't have to do it. I will provide you every necessity, every desire that you can imagine. It's all in the promised land. Yet they did not believe. And I'm talking to someone this morning. God has drawn a map for you. He has given you the vision. He has shown you the dream. He has given you the ambition, the goal, the desire. You do know God gives us the desires of our heart, not just meaning that he blesses us with what he wants, but he actually puts the desires inside of us. You wonder why you're desiring to be an artist, a writer, a painter, a dancer, a director, a producer, a business owner, an entrepreneur. God does put that desire in you. You walk out that desire and he will open up doors that no man can close. But you're sitting back on your laurels and on your doubt and listening to the 8. Because how many people know that there's always going to be more for you? Always. There will always be people who will tell you why you cannot do something more than people who will support you, salute you, embrace you, and just give you that push that you need to walk into what you have, that God has for you. Always. There will always, always, always be that. So the Israelites listened to the 8. They did not listen to the 2. And they began doubting that God was going to provide them a promised land. So God said, okay, I got it. Since you want to doubt, since you don't want to listen, those that are of a certain age will never, ever see the promised land. I'm not going to even allow them to get a sniff close to the promised land. I'm going to allow you all to wander for 40 years. And here's the thing. Now, I'm going to say something that I have to research. But a trip that could have lasted 11 days, maybe, just days though, took 40 years. 40 doubted, who did not believe, were killed off. 2 of that group remained, Israel and Caleb, because they believed. They saw the promise. Yeah, the giants were there, but they knew God was bigger than any giant. Yeah, it was sparse there. They didn't see all that, God had promised right away, but they knew God would provide. Why would God bless your enemies with what he has for you? Yeah, it doesn't look like what God said it's going to look like. That's because your enemy is encamped there. Why is he going to bless your enemy? Where in the Bible does God say, I will bless your enemy with what I promised you? It never says that. So even though God promised you things at times and it looks like somebody else is walking it out, that's what they have for them. That's not what God gave you, because as soon as you put your hands on it, it's going to manifest with your hard work, faith, belief, and trust in God into what he called it to be. If your enemy could do it, why would he give it to you? I need people to get a little deeper in your thought, in your thinking, in what God has promised you. What God promised you is for you. The way he's going to manifest it is through you, not through your enemy, not through somebody else. Yeah, he can get somebody else to do it, but then why is he causing you to lose sleep? Why are you dreaming about it? Why are you constantly thinking about it? Why are you tossing and turning because you're not walking out in it? Because God has planted the seed in you. So don't be an Israelite. Stop getting ahead of things that are causing you to lose the promise that God gave you. Why take 40 years to accomplish something that you can accomplish in 11 days? And I do not mean that literally, but what I'm saying to you is God gave you that promise a long time ago. Here's what I love about God in saying that. God will show you a picture sometimes and tell you exactly what it is that he has for you. And you think now, right this second is the time. And then we work towards it and we get upset. We get mad because we fall and we fail. No, God was showing you a picture of what he has for you. It didn't say that it was time now. He's showing you your future. You know how we say God never shows us the future? That's a lie. Sometimes he shows us a house. Sometimes he shows us a husband. Sometimes he shows us a dream. Sometimes he shows us the business. Sometimes he shows us the bank account. Sometimes he shows us the book. Sometimes he shows the plan, the blueprint. And we don't see it manifested in today or next week or next month or next year or in 3 years. But I'm here to tell you, God doesn't lie. You just have to have faith to believe and to put action to your faith. It's one thing to believe something can happen, but if you're sitting on your backside doing nothing to get it, it's not going to happen. Trees don't grow just because somebody had an idea. Maybe one day I should plant a seed. Then, boo, your yard may be just as plain could be. You have to have faith to see an oak tree. Plant whatever you have to plant, whatever seed it is. Then you have to water it. The sun has to shine on it. Time has to happen. You have to get rid of weeds. You got to cultivate your land. And one day you will have an oak tree. Just like your dream. Just like your vision. Just like the promised land. God shows you the blueprint. God gives you the idea. God gives you the dream. Now it's up to you to work and get it. You'd be surprised how many times we stop doing something right before it's going to happen. I kick myself all the time. Now, I'm not telling you to beat yourself up. I need you to dust yourself off and keep moving. But I could kick myself because I know there were times when the breakthrough was right beyond that cry, that tear, that frustrated sigh, me throwing down all my books and papers and pens and laptops and tablets. I know the breakthrough if I had just kept going. Let me tell you why I know. Because for every time I stopped, when I picked it up again, I go right back to the very position where I ended. I never go back to the beginning. Even though I say I'm going back to the beginning, God sets me up in the very place where I ended it, where I stopped, when I said I quit, where I cried and threw tantrums. He sets me back up in that very position. And I'm sharing this today because there's somebody going through. You don't see it. You don't understand it. You don't know how you can go on. You spent your last dime. Keep going anyway. God is going to reward your faith. And faith, yes, is a belief in what you cannot see, but there has to be action to that faith. You can say all day long, I'm going to be married, I'm going to be married, I'm going to be married, I'm going to be married. But if you're sitting in your house, not meeting anybody, not going outside the door to be seen, not going to work where you could be working and be seen, not going on dates, not talking to people, I guarantee you're not. Because how are they going to find you? Yeah, God is a miracle worker. He could send you a UPS man. He could send the mailman. He could send the rug cleaner. He could send the air conditioner. Oh, yeah, he definitely could do that. But let's be real. You've got to go out and work for the faith. It is an action word, just like love. You've got to exercise it. Yeah, God, I believe you're going to give me that business. Then why are you not writing a business plan? Yeah, God, I believe you're going to get me that mate. Then why are you not out doing things, living life? Why are you hiding and not being seen? Don't be an Israelite this morning. Don't make a simple process longer than it needs to be because you keep jumping in it. Here's something that really stuck to me yesterday. So many times we want God to do things, right? We want God to do something. We give it to God and say, okay, Lord, this is our prayer. This is our vision. This is our dream. This is what we need you to do. We give it to him. 5 seconds of waiting for him to do it. Okay, thanks, God. I got it now. And we take it back from him. And then we wonder why we shoot ourselves in the foot. We wonder why we're not accomplishing what we wanted to accomplish, why we're not getting what we wanted to get. Well, you took it from the master worker. You took it right out of his hands and decided to do it for yourselves. If you had just waited, if you had been patient, if you hadn't gotten involved, if you hadn't gotten in the way, had you listened and stopped being so anxious, so impulsive, you would have been blessed with the very thing you were asking for in a shorter span of time. That's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. I'm talking to myself just as I'm talking to other people. The blessing that you were seeking, the redemption you were seeking, the accomplishment you were seeking, the retribution you were seeking was right there for you. But you got in the way because you could not wait on God to do it. God was already setting up the work. He was already doing it. He was already speaking to the person who held your blessing. He was already opening the door. It started to, you know how garage doors open and it's a little bit at a time, but they keep going until eventually they get to the top so the car can come out. God was opening the door just like that. He didn't swing it open. He was opening it a little bit at a time because your patience, your belief in him, your trust in him, your faith in him was allowing him to open the door inch by inch. But because you were so impatient, because you were so impulsive, because you knew how to do things better than God could, because you could extract justice the way you wanted to extract it, he closed the door back. And he said, now, Israelite, you will walk the land, you will wander for 40 years instead of the shortened route that would take you about 11 days. 40 years, 11 days. You have a choice. Trust God. Trust what he's told you. Believe the promised land and do things God's way. Or keep taking things out of his hands and you control it and you go right back to point A. The choice is yours. I'm asking you, as we're being better, as we're going to the goal of living our best life, I'm asking you to trust God and not be an Israelite. I'm asking you to trust him and do exactly what he tells you. If he tells you to wait, then wait. If he tells you to go, then go. If he tells you to move, then move. I know he's asking you to do crazy things. I know it. Do it anyway. I know it looks strange. If people are going to look at you strangely, they may talk about you, but in a year to 2 years, they won't be. They'll be celebrating you. They'll be supporting you. You think Tyler and Steve and Oprah, Bill and so many other people who were doing things that were not done, do you think people celebrated them when they were beginning their process? No. They were looking at them and talking about them. How could you be homeless? How could you be on your last dime? How could you just go and be a broadcaster? They had naysayers. They had 8. They probably had 1 to 2, maybe 5 people at the most that supported them in the beginning. But look at them now. Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey. These are names that you know. These are household names. At one point in their life, at one point in their career, you didn't know who they were. Their peers did not know who they were. People laughed at them, talked about them, looked at them cross-eyed because they dared to walk in faith. I'm daring you to walk in faith today. I'm daring you to trust God and stop getting in his way today. I'm daring you to stop taking things out of his hand and be patient. Do not be impulsive. Just wait. W-A-I-T. Wait. And keep your mouth closed while you're doing it. Here's the thing. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. You opening your mouth and saying things, you will kill a dream before it's born. I promise you that. And I want to leave you with that one. So many times we open up our mouths and we are the very ones talking against what God has for us because of our doubt, because of our fear, because we want to handle things. So we open our big mouths. Yep, I said it. I ain't scared. I said it. Your big mouth. You opened it. I opened it. We opened it. What we cannot do, what we're not going to do, how we're not going to do something. And guess what? Absolutely what we said is what absolutely happened. So today, don't be an Israelite. Get out of your way. Get out of God's way. Let God handle the situation the way He's going to handle it. Boy, am I talking to myself. Allow Him to do what He's going to do. Thank you so much for listening. That's my time. It is Friday Junior, Friday Eve. Enjoy your Thursday. Accomplish something today. Do something in faith today. Do something that looks crazy today that's going to better your life, better your future, better your goals, better your ambition. Do it today. Why not? Go ahead and start walking into your best life. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.